In recent years, one of my favorite occasions in order to each year is Good Smile Company's exhibits. For roughly the past 6 years, about 3 to 4 times a year, I've been continuously eager to see what Good Smile will produce next, primarily with their about to be 2-year-old Nendroid line. And of course, the pondering of what characters may be joining the ever expanding line next, and listen to the reveals themselves, typically done in either video format or posting every minute for a few hours of social media. I will never forget the live reaction everyone knew had to the Friday Night Funky reveal. The sheer unpredictability and something taken really closely. Predictability of what character the franchise presented has given me a lot to admire and entertain. Scrolling down and refreshing the hopes to see a new familiar face in this style, only to reinvite new Butch and Anna once again. This time around, it seems that there might be two reveal periods to refer to in the weeks that once had to celebrate E3. So I thought I'd deliver this video just before the big blowout happens, and discuss some of my characteristics as well as fairly in terms of things I think we could see. I'll be using a bingo card template provided by user WestWave6914 on Reddit to certain characters that I would love to see get their chance in the Smiling Sun, sneaking in a few extras that have a strong possibility, and a few long shots that would be inspired choices on Good Smile's end to do. First off, there are the video game characters I want to see. Rayman is a character who I've been a fan of for close to 15 years, and here's the moment where he's gained more merchandise than he has ever have, and the whereabouts of the game lingering. I don't think it's possible for him to show up, and I've thought that way for a long time since I was introduced to the Good Smile line. This year, it helps that it's also his 30th anniversary. A fact that has helped previous folks into getting injuries is just because of their anniversaries. Some extras I'd love to see with him coming him or a Lum would be nice. Murphy as one of his companion pieces. Maybe a good. There's so much potential to do with his faces from throughout the games. Some really cartoony experiments that I would love to see Good Smile pull off, kind of like the Crash Bandicoot one from a few years ago. But what is giving me pause about his inclusion is that, aside from the obvious, his lack of popularity in Japan. While he's beloved in the West, it's no secret that he doesn't have the biggest following in Japan. Given that Rancher was not initially released there, it's safe to say he is as known here as Western audiences have come to know him. Something to consider about Western characters getting injuries, they have to owe some fame. Video game wise, they have received a lot of indie characters to be present in injuries, largely due to a strong collaboration on both ends. But with these classic video game platform mascots, we have Crash and a few of the Sonys, but not that much else. No Banjo, no Conqueror, no Spyro, no Gex. It would be a tall order for him to break through, but it'd be great. To no surprise, my next character pick is someone who has a more physical shot outlet due to their much more present popularity in Japan, and that's Ashley from WarioWare. It's strange to think Ashley has never seen a Good Smile figure, or really any figure of any kind. She has a lot of factors in her favor to be included. Probably her home country, her serious selective, she has a strong fan following to this day, and of course, she's a good girl, which Good Smile loves. Obviously, Ray would have to be included at her little buddy companion, and her wand. But I think a few apples or raw food would be a nice addition. Even if her expressions wouldn't be the most active of all the characters, I don't think it's needed given who she is. Really, the only reason why I feel Lassie hasn't shown up yet is the talent of shelves of the merchandise for WarioWare. And this goes beyond the way the series is treated by the company, but it's most prevalent in the memorabilia catalog when compared to the Nintendo franchise. We've got a few spare items here and there, some for each Ashley, but nothing on the scale of a Good Smile figure, or even a plus for that matter. I think she has a shot in part due to how much she has in her favor when I really think about it, but that one big blocking point against her is a big one that's hard to overcome. I think if we do see her join Mario Kart World, which might be more positive than we think, then perhaps I don't think is out of the question. On topic of Nintendo, another character from the Mario left to see is Captain Lamar, who is closer to the other two, because we already have a Pikmin Android. I was pleased to hear last June that we finally got Pikmin character in this series, but it was shocking to see that he's like a Bulbasaur as the character instead of Olimar. Given that Bulbasaur includes those three main pigment types with him, it could be seen redundant to have two pigment figures be so close back to back. But I think a way that this series saw was giving Olimar the other pigment types for the sake of the rest being produced. Granted, he probably has a less likely chance than Raymar Acid because of that preceding pig android, but I went out as I really like him. And I don't think it's a shame that or crime really that Pigment can have more than just one. I think two is fine if they really want to do it. One I'm missing that I'm shocked we have yet to have seen is Toro Unura, the famous Rank himself. Even when some of the other characters, I just can't believe he hasn't been done yet. Not only is he very popular in Japan, given his mascot says, but he just makes so much sense. It's the type of Japanese specific character that Gizmo would do, and it's just a very pleasant character who's very, how do I say this? It's just, come on, Toro. Let's give him Toro, the Dreamin'. Kuro can come too, why not? History-wise, I think we can take influence from the other figures he has done. I would like to see in Pacific, a reference to his fighting game appearance with the Bandit would be a cool accessory, like a Gizmo shop exclusive. But yeah, Toro is one of those characters I feel like he'll eventually happen. I don't think it'll be here though, but maybe it could. We'll see. And a lot of the time, you can mention Toro wrapping up Rappa. Again, another classic character who is exclusive in his odd. I want to use it because of his home games are so given the amount of praising Rappa figures. And like with Toro, I think a lot of influence for this figure can be used from some of his other figures out in the market, like his Kotaku. I would like to see personally if I know Gizmo does this sometimes, like Boots the Rock had the Case Rocket Band background, is one of the seasons perhaps would be nice. Like the dojo, I think would be a very cool inclusion if you can get that as like a separate thing or a period bonus as how his the way he was framed and all that. That'd be nice. Again, Prappa, I feel like he should be here already, but Sony will be Sony or Gizmo will be Gizmo, whoever it is who's making these collaborations. So I have we not seen I yet. Super Mario Ball series I also can't believe hasn't gotten to a good smell. Maybe this was back in 2010s, I understand, but today it's the complete opposite. We've got new games, a fair amount of comedies, and even a new eye figure. So one has to wonder if it's only a matter of time before I as well as right to one of these events. Maybe it's the monkey ball of it all that's a hazard to Ray. But here's again a character who I think we will see eventually, even if it's not at the event. Of course, I got come with Banana, and it'd be extra neat if it was a dull Banana. One more character I was showing a similar build to these other ones is the Prince from Katamari Damacy, another popular icon of a classic Japanese game series that's similar to Monkey Ball and is back in the Landline. So it doesn't make sense, and I think if you could Klonoa, I don't see why the Prince could be for me either. There's a lot of material you can use with him, though I think a lot of his influence, like, again, I've been saying recently in these past few seconds, other figures referencing what the ball does, I guess, is you could do that. I don't think it'd be the most, like, crazy inclusion, but it would be a really welcome one. I think he deserves it, for sure. One more video game character who has a film history with anime is Rika Fudera from the Hirose series. Similar to Pikmin, Hirose has already had Rib Station in the Ninja series, but not Rika, who you may think who have gotten it. There's a famous hoax around it. But also, we got plenty of Hirose Gizmo figures Rika. So, I come on, let's just do it. Again, I think her accessories would just be very Nipa. I think, again, a knife maybe would be so well. Instead of anime characters, the thing I keep in mind are what season of anime is currently in, as Gizmo like to pull characters from there all the time. A lot of them probably would not gotten enjoyed had not been for their seasons of anime, but not let's see a few outsiders can squeeze through. I picked two characters who have all not having anything too soon would be absolutely inspiring choices. A personal favorite of mine, and very much a pick, it would be Pompo from Pompo the Cinephile. Very much enjoyed reading the manga and its film a while ago. I think it's a very unappreciated work, but it's not the most popular character, and similar to some other cases of recent anime manga, I think the time of Pompo may have passed, but I am not going to let that stop how much I want. I think, again, the film wheel, the film chair, anything to do with film, the donut, it's all there. The character just fits the good smile and Ninja so well. And even though it seems more unlikely as time goes on, I still would love to see her. Princess Tutu is a total classic And Ario is playing a part as to why. Look at her. I can't get enough of how much I love that series and that character. And while it's been a while since they've changed their tail, I don't think it's enough to discredit Ario. Her series stood the test of time. Very fallen in love to this thing and brought up a fair bit. Again, I also think in the situation of this, I think about her human self and the duck self would ideally be both included. Now, if you want to talk about long shots, Hilda. Yes, that Hilda. Even back when her show was airing, I knew her chances were just not feasible, aside from knowing that Netflix has brought out a few clubs in the past. So I thought, okay, maybe it could happen now, so shot. But screw it, I couldn't care less. Given that Hilda is among my favorite shows of all time and is one of the later Western characters I really love, plus its influence on my view world. Again, I'm not gonna let anything discredit that how much I would love to see Hilda. I still want Hilda. Twig, Alfred Woodman's head. There's a lot of series you can pull from. Can do. The mole is literally right there. Hell, like the body anatomy just fits. Come on. We knew a blue-haired girl, so there was a fantastical who has a shot, Coraline. As I read by last year's release, as grand probably since its issue over 15 years ago, coupled with how Coraline merch is considered being made, I argue this is one of the stronger chances that a Western character can have. The cat, the buttons, the coat, it's all there. On the blue-haired girls, why not Milk-chan, as seen by Lee Chart a few years ago, you can make a gag anime from the past and still be a together figure. As this was the first time I ever watched, and the amount of love he has now in fan art, I think this would be a very awesome choice. And I even asked Career way back when about it, and he wants to do it. Plus, there's a verse playing around time these events. So, maybe. Again, see, better call you your dumbass as a little pose accessory on the side. Come, please. You know what? Why not Luce, the new Catholic Church mascot? That'd be a fun inclusion, even if it's a more unconventional pick compared to what Gusmelty selects for these figures. I just think it's really neat. Sneak him with a dog, and maybe a few kicks at that. Now, in terms of the actual conventional anime picks, especially the type of seasonals, I typically like to pick out at least one included from anime I'm watching in one of these mangoes. In this scenario, I'll go with Ninkoro. While it might not be one of the most popular anime currently, it definitely is showing reasonable growth and looking out across each week. Considering that this is a studio staff anime and the history as well, I wouldn't be surprised to see something series happening called. I say between the ninja and the assassin, I'd go with the ninja, who I think has a better design, and this feels more in line with Good Smile's anime representation with seasonal anime if they only get one character. So he can come all hard ninja tricks. And I would like to see Marine as well, but I think that would pin Ninkoro has any longevity past the first season, assuming that Shaft wants to do a second. So I think it could either way. Oh, and speaking of Shaft, celebrating its 20th anniversary this summer as Pony Dance. Granted, you think Griswold didn't do anything for it given how Ninja Girl was just starting back then. But no, they did do Pony stuff with the rap of Rebecca Me Mother. Sim Lamar and Bullet Board, it might be able to do another character from this series, as well as one as niche as this. But I do want to see the protagonist, given that it'd be a full circle to circle back to Pony like stages later, see how far Griswold has come. And really, the Rebecca can come along as accessory if you really want a new version of him. Let's go on the way, fine. I know, it's become a running ground at this point to expect a licensed manga release in the West or a soft anime of submission and simulation, or anything more really. But going with what I want and what I would expect, I desire it. We do have Girl Loves Toy figures already, so it is another question. I'm going to get a boost in terms of submission sims for more characters than just the main duo. And given that the growing popularity of GLT and Samizima since they both ended the release, I would also not rule out Shooting Yuri being released, but I feel that something that's down the road than right now. Oh, for Samizima in particular, or Samizima, whatever I want to call her, give her some fists. Now something a little more popular in Japan that I'm puzzled as to why it's not up yet is Machida Masuko, or as known to us, the demon girl next door. Similar to Shaft, Manga Time Curry has a story realistic with a good smile, and given that almost every prominent mainline anime and manga for them has played this year, and even extended some of the lesser known figures or characters, it seems to me that neither the demon or her girlfriend have not appeared yet. I will not feel the tiniest thing I've seen that demon girl legacy was scrapped from my eyes. Now, what was scrapped, I guess I had plans, was Hiragusa or School Life, as the West likes to call it. I wasn't for this lot member, and I've been pissed ever since. This is among one of my favorites of the entire company. Among the best, may I add. So I'm into it. This year marks the 10th anniversary of his anime, so could they finally finish what they started? I would hope so. To close out this bingo, I'll have some friends that could use more characters. Our last saga is lacking, especially unknowably Lily, and all these to be sure. And with the movie finally coming out later autumn, I think it's time we do her. And yeah, I remember soon we have no how many skits in our hands. Lily is just the best. I mean, how do you not have her as one of the few characters in that series? It doesn't make sense. Come on. I think we all want Lily. Medalist, well, it's not as big here in the West. For now, is booming in Japan, so more of the medalists should be feasible, especially after we got in our reveal a couple months ago. I personally, for the most I want, would be Hikaro, who is a given for the next character in line given how important he is to the story and to her general popularity. And Mike Middens, whatever you want to call her, a pretty significant player in the story's early days and the murder days. But anyone from the studio would be welcome. I love them all. So we have Ariel, so why not have Ringo to complete the main trio? Poro, given how big it is in Japan, could use some new blood in the land that's only gone the one since 2020. Kind of like the game themselves when they think about it, given the state of their releases. Again, it just be a little more like Ariel, but I think you just swap out some of the mechanics from the games, and there you go. Also, no carbon here, because, no carbuncle, I'm sorry. But I think you get the frog, if you really want to. And for the final addition to this bingo, this is a biggest long shot, but this would be a pretty historic inclusion if you know how these companies work. How about some pedicure or pedicure? Given the hard catches, the original, the mermaid, the pets, the owls, any of them. Let's see how these bounties get broken if you really want to go that far for them. Personally, I love hard catches the most, and I would like to see Erica the most as well, but also the idol, Corey going on. I think that'd be pretty cool. Again, the strategy already there. There's just so much to pull from PQ's rich history. Even if I know Toei, and guess what? Don't work in the best. We got some characters, Toei before, but again, this would be this would be the equivalent of having Clown Smash, if you know what I mean by that. Okay, before we end, so a quick mention thing we'll see. Mono's a given, at least one girl. Is doing well, or the Afro has gotten multiple resets before Yuri Camp's representation on the Yuri the camp on the Good Smile thing before. So I think we're gonna see that. More Bucci, of course, more Anne, more Friend, more Mamo. The typical mainstays of Monica Smile. Miku, we'll see Miku, and I think we'll see one classic Western character from the anime film. I'm thinking Shrek. Shrek. And also, I wouldn't be shocked if I had to pick who I think from this list would be the most likely to show up. I think Toro, Parappa, some of them Ninkaro, and I guess Coraline would be who I would think. Also, I think Hikaro from my list. These are the ones I think if they were to announce they were from this list. These are who I'm pretty sure would be. Also Lily, because of the movie. I guess PQ would be the most likely. I guess Hello too. So, and Lucis, again, it's a very if they could. I feel like that's not entirely other. If they could use IB, I mean, come on. Some of the games I almost made the list that are a little more Western oriented, and mainly live action. Or I had Regina George as a possibility. Ethan Hunt was an actor I considered. I wanted Caesar. My guy Mad Max was an actor I considered. Shrimp Burbank was closer than you think, and I really, really wanted to have who's that guy name? Barman. I think I don't know why he hasn't appeared yet. Barman would be a very cool choice. Some more type of girls, I think, besides Mackenzie, do the other two. Gino and Mallow, I wanted to do. They were on the previous bingo too, so the more RPG characters, Paper Mario Easy, whoever, I think these should be there too. Han Chan was a character who got very, very close. He was originally set up the Peeker spots. We got the remix up before. We did technically have her as a baby. I want the full version, the best version of her. Any of the Tarzan characters of the main two would be appreciated. This was an if you ran. Do Yourself, Alien 9, Dead the Demon, Harry Bucci, a lot of great anime that we have never seen that I would love. Exit Be Wicked. Some more Nicktoons. How about Rocco's and Otis? Why not? Hackett, of course. That's surprising you have done her already. Screw it. Just get the birthday stuff in there. I don't care if it's not likely. I would just like to have them. How about some Pocket Hotel if you're doing which anime? And how about Anne Sorrell as well? I saw we could Domo too. How about Cookie Bustle? Cookie? Listen, I don't know about that. Remember, it's simply just fun.